Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS, and the inventor of the CTKS method and BORSOG trading. If you're new, a very warm welcome. And welcome back, KS family. From my 30 plus years in financial markets, I explain the smart money mindset to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, gaining real wealth and positive excellence in the process. We can see across the US market all sectors were down 0.40%. In around 29 days' time, when the FOMC meets next, the probability of a 50 basis point increase is 27.8% and the probability of a 25 basis point increase is 72.2%, up from previously 67.7%. We can see, looking globally, the US market did in fact come down, the Australian market came down, but China and Russia and parts of Europe actually went up. Brazil came down. One thing that has the world worry is China's COVID surge. I'd just like to put things into context. Last week, 9,908 people died of COVID. That fortunately is down 17% over the previous week. This came from nearly 3 million cases. When we actually head across to China, current daily death rates from C19 are 9,000 per day. That's the equivalent of nearly all the global cases in 1 week. China officially stopped publishing statistics. The concern is that as many as 25,000 people a day could die later in January. This is a really big problem for the Chinese economy. Reading these articles is really quite heartbreaking. We can see in other news, China vows to hit back at nations imposing COVID travel bans. Understandably, a lot of countries are really concerned that C19 will re-enter their borders. The US, Japan and some other countries are requiring travelers from China to show a negative test before allowing them to enter, and Taiwan has said it will quarantine positive cases. When you look at the news headlines and you understand the statistical implications of COVID reaching other shores, of course, putting quarantine processes and mandatory testing in place would not be unintelligent. In Australia, Chief Medical Officer Paul Kelly advised against mandatory C19 testing for travellers from China. It's often really important that we just don't go from the headline and read further. Australia will require COVID testing for travellers from China from Thursday. But the key to understand, this is voluntary sampling. This is not mandatory testing. And you notice that the Chief Health Officer inside Australia is wearing a mask. I thought it wasn't a problem. Wherever you are in the world, C19 has unfortunately not gone away. And if you've suffered from it or are suffering from it currently, our thoughts are with you. We can see in US markets yesterday, the major indices all went down. We know from experience, when the market goes down, what are the news headlines? Well, they're down too, they're red as well. When the market goes up, what are the news headlines? Well, they're green, they go up as well. Just please keep this in mind. We can see throughout the stock market, Apple took a big hit, as did Tesla. Oil and gas was down. Bitcoin is down 0.51% to 16,650 and Ethereum is down 0.63% to 1211. In yesterday's video, I was covering off where it would be a good place for Bitcoin to retrace. And what do I actually have here? This light blue line, that is the S&P 500 futures. You can see just how closely correlated in direction the major indices and Bitcoin actually are. One thing that we noticed across the weekend and across the holiday break, the S&P 500, the stock market, was closed down, but Bitcoin continued to trade. And what did we actually see here? What was happening with Bitcoin's price action? It was rallying. That foretold of the market opening up and going higher. But when the market came down, what happened to crypto? It came down as well. It bounced, we can see the same kind of bounce. It's heading down at the moment. We can see the same kind of directional movement. So it's really important to track Bitcoin and really important to track the markets as well. In yesterday's episode, I created some little shaded areas here to say where the good pullbacks were and where the not so good pullbacks were and where the dangerous pullbacks were and where you could expect selling pressure and where you could expect a decrease in selling pressure, but just a cautionary area. And we can see that we've actually dipped back into that cautious zone, and we know this is following the markets. What we're actually observing in Bitcoin's gravitational alignment with the market is that it's pulled back to a reasonable area. Now, if it starts to come down from the 16,650, which it's currently at, and starts to break down below 16,570, well, that's not too good. If it actually drops back to 16.5, then we could consider that more negative downside momentum could eventuate. But you always do your three-dimensional risk management. That is your CTKS code. We know that the market came down slightly yesterday, so the current market condition is just generally just a little bit down. So we put a D there in that first part of the CTKS code. And then where do we expect it to go tomorrow? There's a thing called the goldfish bowl principle, which basically says what the market does today, it will do tomorrow. It's kind of like if you went to a casino and a coin flip turned up heads, or you were on roulette and it went red. Well, it's got to be red for the next one. It doesn't have to be anything. It can be anything on the next turn. Same goes with the markets. Just because the markets come down today does not mean they're guaranteed to come down tomorrow. Hence, the first part of this code is market direction, current and in 24 hours time. The next part of the code is the portfolio, your portfolio. What do you expect to happen if the market did come down and you gave it a 70% probability of coming down? And there's a lot of different data points that you can look at to try and assess what these percentages actually are. And looking at the news headlines, that's not such a good way to do it, because what do we know from news headlines? Red day, red headlines. Green day, green headlines. Definitely the goldfish principle playing out in mainstream media news. After you've assessed what your portfolio could do, how it could move, and what does down 0%, up 0%, and neutral 100% mean? It means that you're in cash. You can't be actually impacted by the market going up or down because you're sitting on cash. Is that a bad thing? Not if you think it's a good thing. Because you control the trade or investment, but the market controls the return. And that return is based on your active learning, your knowledge plus your courage. The market penalizes blame and gambling. If you feel that you're not synchronized enough, and that's personally up to you, what you think that synchronization factor should be, because we know that the market transfers money from the desynchronized to the synchronized. So getting synchronized pays. And if you'd like to understand what this particular code actually means, I put it all in text right next to it. A lot of people say, I must have certainty. I need to know what the market is going to do. Where's it going to go exactly in the next 24 hours? The truth is, we only have probability, and we stack those probabilities together. You don't need certainty. You just need a strategy to profit from uncertainty. And it's the truth that all the profits are made when markets are uncertain. Turning to the main markets, we can see the VIX spiked up a little bit. It started to change trend. If the VIX gathers momentum and starts spiking up, because this is the fear gauge, and I do a very deep dive on this inside the masterclass in TM6. As well, in TM6 you get my live chart that I talk about pretty much each and every day. We can see that the markets tried to rally, but they were squished down. Oil is coming down at the moment. It looks like bond prices are seeking to turn the corner. Bond yields are curling over, and we can see the dollar rallied. And what happened to gold? Probably due to geopolitical risk. Gold actually broke out, and it's going up with the dollar. This doesn't happen often, but it does happen. You have to be really careful of very simplistic associations. For example, If the DXY goes up, gold must come down. Well, you can see it didn't happen in the past trading session. One important rule for us is Rule 45. No alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. And we can see that the top movers in the past 24 hours, Solana, Flow, Mina, GT, FracShare, FXS, Cello and Atom. And the greatest losers were ICP, TWT, GMX, OKB, Filecoin, XTC and Doge. Looking at the top 8 crypto from CoinMarketCap, we can see Bitcoin did this particular price action over the last several days. It's up 0.88%. And when we look at this directional movement of Bitcoin and then overlay that, that's that blue line on Ethereum. What do we see here? Wow, gee, there's quite a correlation between Bitcoin and Ethereum. As Bitcoin moved up, what did Ethereum do? It moved up. As Bitcoin really moved up, what did Ethereum do? It really moved up. And when it really moved down, what happened to Ethereum? It really moved down as well. We keep our eye on the stablecoins because we want to see if they are under or over depegging or repegging. The concept is when we look at Tether, Tether suffered a bit of a hit before that sell down in the markets. Now, what is this about? At the moment, we don't really know, but we're keeping an eye on it. That means we need to zoom in to stablecoins. And if we look just quickly at Circle, Circle is just wobbling around. Stablecoins are not stable, but this actual 12% offset in Tether is actually quite concerning. What about BNB? Well, it's doing okay. That is BUSD. If we go and have a look at the DAI stablecoin, we can see a very inverted movement. Quite a decorrelation there as well. Let's dig into the stablecoins. Inside the masterclass, stablecoins are not really stable. I talk about this in TM14 and TM15, and I shared 2 different charts with you. We're just going to look at one of those now. When we look at Tether versus the US dollar from Coinbase, we don't see that big spike, and when we look at market cap of Tether, we can see the market cap drops significantly here just in the recent price action, but it started to level out. One thing that we can also see is Circle's market cap is actually coming up. People might get a little bit concerned about Tether and start putting money into USDC, but they're not putting it into BUSD. BUSD is still coming down. It's important to keep your eye on the stable coins just to assess the overall health of the crypto market. And when we look at ADA, look at Bitcoin's gravitational pull and ADA. ADA's getting pulled with Bitcoin. What about Matic? It's the same thing. What about Litecoin? Slight variations. You might notice these gaps in here, but they tend to decorrelate and recorrelate all the time. And what about DOT? Just moving in alignment with Bitcoin's gravity, we can see a bit of strength in DOT. It's resisting the downward momentum in Bitcoin at the moment. But we know one thing about gravity. Gravity always wins. What about Tron? We can see Tron also resisting. Tron has been very interesting. It can tend to decorrelate from Bitcoin. And Solana's back in the top 16. Look at that. Solana's been going for it recently. And SHIB just hanging in there. Thank you everybody for their kind comments in yesterday's video, and indeed all videos. It's just awesome, the global family that we have. I appreciate each and every one of you. In episode 764, yesterday's episode, I went through 2023 Bitcoin price projections. There's a lot of data in there and a huge amount of research. I think it will really help people out. If you haven't had the opportunity to look at that particular episode, please check it out. With our global family, we strive for a positive excellence life trend. We view setbacks as simply setups so that we reach a level of strength to propel us to our next life rally. And I know of a few of our beloved family members going through a bit of a pullback at the moment. Please know that our love and healing thoughts are with you. You're not alone. And as a global family, we're all here for each other. We solve our problems with positive excellence. Positive excellence is all about doing the right things. Why do we want to do the right things? Because if you do the wrong things, as Sam Bankman-Fried found out, you actually hurt a lot of people, but above all, you hurt yourself. That's why inner peace and outer peace, gratitude and happiness, kindness, courage, honor, strength, boundaries, learning and humility, these are your to-be list in 2023. The more of these that you can actually put a tick next to, you're going to do incredibly well. Every single word that you can tick, that you can say, been there, done that, got that, you're actually leading to sustainable fulfillment, meaning happiness and success. And don't worry about ticking the money box first. You can tick it last. Money comes when you do the right things. A beautiful rule to keep in mind is Rule 737. Wealth is leading a meaningful life. How do you lead a meaningful life? You just adopt positive excellence as your compass. Maintaining a positive attitude is absolutely vital for success in any endeavor. Whatever you do in life, you must have a positive attitude or your mind will just say, hey, let's sit this one out. And the mind is so lazy, it can sit the whole of life out. You don't want to be that. You don't want to sit on the sidelines. You want to get into the thick of it. Why is that the case? Because that's where all the fun is. Life is to be lived and it goes very, very quickly. We have the CTKS Creed, which are daily positive affirmations for abundance, financial success, and happiness. We know that all results come from the mind, and a better mind creates better outcomes. Here is the CTKS Creed. I know the universe wants me to succeed. Every day I show kindness, integrity, and gratitude. I know opportunities and life reset daily. I am worthy, I go slow to go fast. I start small and scale with BORSOG. Life pullbacks give me the strength for the next life rally. I am dedicated and committed. I win or learn and never blame. I never let a problem beat me because I solve it with positive excellence. From time to time, you hear of people solving problems with negative excellence. Negative excellence is such things as conflict. They're literally the opposite of what you see under positive excellence. With positive excellence, we solve our problems through kindness. With negative excellence, we solve our problems through brutality. Negative excellence seeks to manipulate. Negative excellence solving a problem with complaining, acting the victim. With positive excellence, we never complain because we're empowered in our own lives. We're never the victim because we're in control of our destiny. Why is this? Because we simply choose to be in control. With positive excellence, we don't seek to bring other people down because we know bringing another person down doesn't lift us up. It just makes that other person want to come and get us. With negative excellence, we seek to compete because we believe win-lose. In order for someone to win, the other person must lose. This world is not about that. It never has been. Both people can win. There's a really old story about two people fighting over an orange. How would you solve that problem with positive excellence? Please let me know in the comments. So think about it. Two people, one orange. And they're fighting with each other. Literally, they're fighting with each other. They want the orange. How would you solve that problem with positive excellence? Please let me know in the comments. We'll talk about that tomorrow. It's a good one. I would like to thank the very kind and generous family members who've reached out and bought me a coffee on buymeacoffee.com/CryptoTradingKS. Thank you, Vicente, for your very kind words. Dear Ken and Kate, it has been a success to have met you in the immense World Wide Web. Every day I watch your videos and feel more empowered. Thank you for your tireless effort and Merry Christmas. Thank you, Vicente. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you too, my friend. And JB, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, my friend, and to your loved ones. Raptors Owl, can the abundance you bring every day is inspirational. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you and Kate and our global family. Oh, Raptors Owl, very, very beautiful, my friend. and wishing everybody a wonderful, wonderful 2023 to you and your loved ones. Francisca, thanks so much, my friend, for your kind generosity. And Badger, thank you, Ken and Kate, for spoiling us all year round with your precious knowledge, wisdom, kindness, and care. May 2023 bring you continued blessings in abundance. Very Happy New Year, KS family. Wow, Badger, that is so beautiful. And as a global family, let's make 2023 the best year ever. A lot of people can ask, what is my purpose? What is my destiny? That may sound like a really complex problem. It isn't actually. It's really, really simple. The purpose and destiny of everybody's life is to spread kindness, empathy, and care. It takes so many years to feel strong enough to actually do that. Only the strong can be kind. A lot of people in Zone 1 and Zone 2 think that kindness is weakness. It's not. Because, why do they think that? Because kind people don't care if they win or lose. Well, do they care? Is it winning or losing to a kind person? That's also a really good thing to talk about, because when you get into Zone 3 and Zone 4, kindness is not what it appears in Zone 1 and Zone 2. Purpose and destiny is all about contribution. It's about sharing, gaining new ways of thinking, and gaining new skills. But above everything, it's kindness, empathy, and care. Please also let me know your thoughts about this and about that orange question. 1 orange, 2 people. Who will win? How do you solve that problem through positive excellence? Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care and see you tomorrow. Bye for now.